A very good morning to you once again, and thank you so much for joining us. Here's some good news, I think, and some of those stories that you don't think about when you think exams or matric exams. So remember this: the country's prisoners. Now they wrote for they sat down and wrote their exams, matric exams in 2015, and they've actually improved their pass rate. An overall pass rate of 73% is what they registered for 2015. This was announced earlier in the week by Correctional Services National Commissioner Modise. Nearly 200 inmates wrote their matric exams. In fact, that figure is more sitting at 111. They wrote their exams. 140 had registered, but 111 wrote those exams. And these results will hopefully play a huge role, I think, in rehabilitation when it comes to inmates in South African prisons. Dr. Coetzee, the Acting Chief Deputy Commissioner, Department of Correctional Services, joins me now this morning to discuss this further. It's such a pleasure to have you with us. A very good morning to you.
Good morning, Ayanda, and good morning to your viewers.
It's an impressive increase from 69% the previous year to 73% pass mark. I was going to say that you could teach the education department a thing or two, but I know that the dynamics are different and the numbers are different as well. But it's a good result. To what do you attribute that success?
Yes, indeed, Ayanda, it is for us a proud moment. And in the main, it's the commitment by the educators that we have in our system in correctional services. Together with them, we had a lot of support from community members, ex-teachers who offered their assistance in preparing these learners for the examination. And also we had some assistance from business. And we will have more at our ceremony awards in the form of some gifts that were given to those achievers. But I would say, yeah, in the main, the commitment by the educators. As an example, the educator at Craddock, and Craddock registered for the past 4 years a 0% pass rate for the matrics who wrote there. And they now recorded a 60% pass rate. But the teacher there, from July 2015, she sacrificed the weekends. She came in on Saturdays and Sundays in order to teach or to give additional assistance to the learners. And I salute her for that.
Yeah. This is very admirable because society tends to think that those who transgress against us in one way or another ought to be locked up. You throw away the key and that's the end of you. But the fact is that correctional services is exactly that. It corrects that behavior. We rehabilitate in order to send back into society and integrate. So we forget that component when it comes to people behind the bars. How important is making sure that they have quality education by the time they are incorporated back into society?
It is absolute essential because access to education, that forms the basis for participation in other rehabilitation programs that we offer. And you were quite right when you said, Ayanda, that is the position of the Department of Correctional Services, that correcting offending behavior is not for the Department of Correctional Services alone. Corrections is a societal responsibility because the offenders upon release, they won't go to some other planets. They will go back to communities in South Africa. And that is why it's so important for us to have the communities with us. Offenders transgressed against those communities, yes. But they're serving a sentence. They are paying for that. And now they must go back to the communities. And it would be a shame if us as a department and as a community would say, take them in, keep them for 15 years or 10 years, but don't do anything. Because there are many factors that led to crime, and we need to address
and
those.
Possibly even the lack of education.
Yeah.
Because if they didn't have a matric, it's very difficult to get a job, and that may have led to the life of crime.
Absolutely, and there's a very close link to the lack of education or illiteracy, if I might call it that, and crime or criminal behavior. So you would find that much as the concentration and the focus now is on matrics, we have a great majority of offenders participating in our adult education program. So that we don't find ourselves in a situation where someone who has entered the system 10 years ago illiterate will leave the system or exit the system now still being illiterate. I think that would be a shame on us.
We have run out of time, but I just want everybody to know just what an incredible feat it is for these learners who pass Matric behind bars, because as you said to me, there are lots of obstacles. As briefly as possible, just tell us what some of those challenges are.
Well, firstly, prisons or correctional facilities were not built with education in mind. So we don't have the infrastructure there. We make use of any space that we can get our hands on and transform that into a classroom or just space to teach. The lack of educators, that is a second one. And then also the correctional environment. That is where we say we have a high focus on security, because we need to ensure that offenders are safe behind bars.
Of course, it's possibly why of the 140 who enrolled, only 111 wrote, and of course then 73% of them are the ones who passed. But nonetheless, well done to you and your team who are doing this work, and we wish you everything of the best going into this new year. I'm hoping for like an 80-something% pass rate, if not even more, next time we speak. But let's leave it there at least for now. Thank you so much for joining us for that. Up next, let's check in with